guys, welcome back to another City Slicker episode. Today, of course, we have with us $2.20. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
how are
man. How you going?
Doing well. Well, it's like we are four of us today. We have two special guests, and that's Citywokcitywall and Templin Institute. Hello, guys, and thanks for joining us.
What up?
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised it took you this long to get me on. I'm such a pillar of the City Skylines community that I feel like I should be on ages ago, but...
Yeah. Well, yes. So let me make a super short intro for everyone else. We are going to launch tomorrow, like in 24 hours from now. We should have live the first episode of Skylines Invicta, collaboration between myself, Citywok, and Templin Institute. And it's going to be awesome, that's for sure. Templin Institute already posted like 1 week ago the first video, which you should have, you must go and check it out. But yes, the Skyline Invicta series is going to start soon, tomorrow. Go there, check it out. I'm so anxious to watch it as well because we are doing this before everything. So we don't know how the first episode looked like, so definitely.
I have it on good authority that the reception has been amazing. So
You're just gonna
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got so many questions because I am the odd one out. You guys are the three amigos involved in this whole project. And the whole idea behind it is kind of crazy. But Templin, like, I know these guys pretty well, but you and I mean, this is our first conversation together. I've checked out your channel, and these guys have spoken very highly of you. Can you please give yourself a bit of an introduction? Because I would love to know what you're up to.
Oh, God. Yeah, me too. No, I run a YouTube channel called the Templin Institute, which I guess is about as far away from City Skylines as you can get. We usually produce videos on fictional factions, organizations, nations, whatever, from, science fiction, fantasy, alternate history. But I guess 2 years ago now, we started a series called Stellaris Invicta, and the idea was we would play through a game of Stellaris, and then we would produce this kind of documentary going over all the events that happened in the game, and edit in together cool artwork with videos from the game itself into kind of this weird narrative that would unfold across multiple episodes. And Skylines Invicta is now connected to season 2 of Stellaris Invicta, and we're incorporating all these new ideas, and it's pretty crazy. It's strange to see it come this far, but I'm really excited for it.
So did you start with Stellaris? Sorry, Citywok. I know that you know all this backstory, but I have no idea how you started doing this storytelling, narrative through this video game. Like, did it start with Stellaris or did it start somewhere else?
Yeah, it started with Stellaris. Some guy left a comment on one of our videos, and he was like, you guys should play a game and then make a documentary on it. And I remember thinking at the time, that'll never work. Like, what would that mean? And it got stuck in my head, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, because way back in the day, I used to like take screenshots from games and just like write a little story about what happened in the game. And I thought that was kind of interesting, even if nobody else cared. So then I just kept, thinking about that comment and other things I'd done, and it seemed like maybe it would actually work. So the original idea was we would create a video going over the background of our fictional space empire. We would play the game, and then we'd release a second episode detailing what happened. The idea was 2 episodes at the start, and that'll be it. And then we announced this project, and people go crazy for it, and immediately it's like, okay, 2 episodes is not going to be enough. And we ended up doing, I forget how many streams. I think it was well over 30 gameplay streams of about 2 hours each, 10 episodes, and then another like 4 or 5 bonus episodes. So it really exploded on us.
And you mix like other multimedia in your videos, don't you? It's not just all Stellaris.
Yeah, we try to get about 50-50. I contacted, I think, hundreds of artists prior to the launch of season 1, and again with season 2, basically just saying, hey, we're doing this series, can we use your art? And it kind of results in this like weird mishmash of, I guess, art styles and content. But the idea was that this series talks about so much more than just the events of the game itself. Like, we deal with politics and history and all these things that aren't really represented well in Stellaris itself. So the idea is the artwork kind of supplements that. And hopefully with season 2, Skylines Invicta is going to further kind of supplement that. It's going to be an even weirder mishmash of Stellaris, City Skylines, and artwork.
Yeah, having watched that season 1, I think that's something that really makes it stand out is the artwork that you use. Like it's such a cool way of experiencing your gameplay because it's Stellaris doesn't allow you to see in detail these worlds that are being drawn by these people and all this art that you find, and it's like it really gets your imagination running. So I can just already imagine like how well getting some city skyline shots in there is in addition to this artwork is going to be, because you can have like movement and it's like camera moves and things happening, and I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork was such a huge help because, like you said, there's some stuff in Stellaris that you just can't represent in the game. And one of them was the capital city. In the first season, we followed a nation called the Greater Terran Union, and its capital was this future dystopian version of London. And we contacted some great artists, and they were nice enough to provide so many great images, but there was only so many we could kind of use that would fit the vibe for London we were going for. So the problem was, whenever we mentioned what was going on in the capital, we would have like one of 3 images to cut to. And it always felt like, I don't know, like a science fiction show with like no money where they had to rely on the same shot over and over and over again. And I guess that's what we were. We're a science fiction show with no money, but I was always like, I wish we could have the capital city have a bit more of a dynamic quality to it, and that's where we're hopefully going to end up.
Can you explain a little bit more about Stellaris? Because I didn't know anything about it before this, and I'm sure a lot of people who play City Skylines and watch this podcast might not know. Like, how does the gameplay work?
Well, I'm no expert, and that's going to be very apparent as soon as we start streaming Season 2, but it's a space empire management strategy simulator. Maybe it's made by Paradox, same folks as City Skylines, but I mean, I don't know why I mentioned that. It's completely different, but if you're familiar at all with the historical series of Paradox games, you have, like Victoria, Hearts of Iron, Crusader Kings, etc. Imagine that, but in space, and it'll be kind of close to what Stellaris is. But you expand out from your home star system, you colonize other planets, you make space stations and fleets of starships, and you go around attacking or trying to maintain diplomatic relations with other species, and you can get all sorts of crazy things happening.
Are there?
I wouldn't know where to begin.
Are there mods involved?
Yeah. People have gone crazy with the mods. For my series, I generally try to like not use too many, because it can really kind of make the game unreliable. And the worst thing to do would be if we were, 10 or 20 or 30 hours into this campaign and then have it crash because of some mod and not be able to continue it. So
yeah,
most of the mods are going to be like cosmetic stuff and no real game-changing stuff, more or less.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all lost a lot.
The big problem with cities, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we've all experienced that. So whereabouts did you like go from just playing the game and having a YouTube channel to making this storyline?
Oh, I mean, I don't have the dates handy. I think we started the YouTube channel in September of 2017, and Stellaris Invicta launched I think we announced it in April of 2018, and then it really got going 2 months later. Which seems wild when I look back on it. It feels like we've been going for so much longer before we announced that series, but apparently we hadn't.
And, it's really interesting to see because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got a lot, like your audience extends past Stellaris, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of our other videos, like our normal videos, are, science fiction, fantasy, alternate history. So we have a mix of basically everybody. We, on Monday, I don't know how many weeks ago, I don't know when this is going live, I've already forgotten. But
neither do we.
At the time of this recording, we had just released an episode on Wizards, this movie from 1977 that no one's ever seen.
Okay.
And people seem to like that, so.
Yeah, right. And where the
we got all
hell?
sorts.
Where the hell did like this connection with City Skylines players do you come about? Because we, to think about where the game started, like where City Skylines started, and then where we are right now, collaborating with, someone who's playing a completely different game in a completely different time period. How did this all come about?
I mean, I was invited to PDXCon 2019 because of Stellaris Invicta, And I mean, I don't know if you've been, but that was amazing for me. That was my first time going, and it blew my expectations out of the water. It was so cool. And they had all these different zones around the area they booked. They had like the Stellaris section, and they had the City Skyline section. And the City Skyline section was so cool because there was all these. It was on the top floor of this German industrial warehouse-looking thing, and they had a bunch of benches and whatnot. So I ended up spending most of my time just hanging out in the Skylines area, despite the fact I wasn't really part of that community at all, because I thought it was cool looking. But then I was looking at some of the gameplay on the screens there, and I realized this game had progressed so far beyond, what I'd first seen. I played a bit of Skylines when it first came out, but I was miserable at it. But seeing how far it had come since then, it kind of got me thinking about our series, and I was like, well, this seems like the perfect solution to my problem of not being able to represent our capital city in any sort of gameplay footage. So I talked with Jonathan, who was a guy who works at Paradox, and I was like, here's my idea. I'm going to pitch you this Stellaris City Skylines crossover. And he recommended Mr. Citywok. And then I got in touch with him, and then he put me in touch with Skibitth, and that's how it all kind of happened. But I just thought the idea of a Stellaris City Skylines crossover of any kind was just so stupid. And it doesn't make any sense, and yet it kind of does, that we had to do it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta make a city in a very particular way, though, to match kind of what's going on in Stellaris. So yeah, it's cool that he said to get in contact with me, because I'd imagine the Mars series is probably the most similar thing to what we're going to be doing here.
But there's a few
in
of them.
20 seconds of... Oh, sorry?
So I was just going to say, there's a few people doing futuristic cities at the moment. There's about 3 that I know of. 4 that I know of. So it's interesting that City Skylines has kind of gone in that direction. I mean, I guess SimCity went in that direction as well with that futuristic version of it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that there's this crossover. Skip and I were actually there at PDXCon. I'm surprised we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't
Probably
know.
we met him, but we didn't know.
Yeah,
that's
if you
right.
saw a guy wandering around with a camera on like this weird kind of gimbal thing, that was me.
Well, we've seen some, but again, probably we saw you too. Who knows?
I'm curious,
we don't know how you
whose
look like.
whose cities were you looking at the time when you were there? Like, whose shoulders were you looking over?
I don't think.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but I don't think we managed to show our cities, if I do remember. So
I thought everyone got their they got a computer and had to pull up their game or something like that.
yeah, but we didn't show it. So I mean, only a few people popped up there to ask about City Skylines, what's this game, how it works, and so on.
Yeah, I was just there to hang out.
Yeah,
so-
the City Skylines we were like the losers in the corner. Like everyone was packed out everywhere else. Every other booth had people buzzing around and fans and stuff. And the City Skylines crew were up there in their little corner. We're up there sipping our teas and twiddling our thumbs with our little cities on our computers. And I guess one person came up. The Templin
Yeah, that's what made
Institute
it the
popped up.
best. It was like the chill zone. I just went there to relax. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was nobody was there. It was
Yeah.
the quietest spot in the whole freaking convention
Exactly.
center. Yeah. So
It
then
was
you got
the-
in touch
the
with
spot.
Citywok, and Citywok, where did what are you doing? Like, what's going on?
Well, I was really on the fence about the idea for a while, because obviously we all know how much effort goes into making a new city and starting a new series. And at first I was like, oh man, like this sounds like a huge time sink. I'm not 100% sold on the idea, and it took me quite a while to like really think it through and weigh the pros and cons. And I kind of had like a moment where I was like, okay, wait, maybe if I do it this way. And so I pitched this idea to Templin, to Mark, basically like, rather than doing this as a traditional City Skyline series, what if we kind of made the traditional City Skyline series more like a behind the scenes episode, and we had like the actual series Skylines Invicta is a little bit more like the Templin Institute content, where we have a narrator, we're telling a story, we're not showing time-lapse footage. It's more like a little, short film kind of deal. I think that way, you know, we can tie in a lot more to the Templin Institute's audience. I think it would be, for me personally, that's more fun to make than cutting time lapses together. I don't quite enjoy cutting time lapses together as much as I did. I think last time we talked, I feel like I mentioned, oh yeah, cutting time lapses is fun or whatever. That was stupid. So yeah, I'm you know, after a while, I typed up this whole thing about maybe if we did it this way, it could be really cool and kind of tie things together a little bit more. And Mark was on board and Skib was on board, because me and Skib, basically up until that point, me and Skib had been talking about doing a new series together, and we had been working on a map for like 2 months at that point. And I was like, wait, what if I combine this thing that me and Skib are doing with this? We use the same map that we've been working all this time on, and we turn it into sort of like this really large crossover project, and that work is wasted. I don't have to start 2 new series at the same time, one with Skib, one with Templin. So
it was almost
I'm glad
a
you
weird.
guys agreed.
It was almost a weird crossover though, wasn't it? You know, there was a bit of an overlap with the concepts that you and Skib had for your new series. Sort of. Skib me there. Not really.
Not really.
No, a little bit, I would say.
Yeah. Well, we were thinking to make a series called Back to Earth, and somehow, I mean, it was also kind of futuristic, and we had a different idea, like, hey, it's like 300 years later, planet was almost
After
destroyed.
Mars.
After Mars.
Yes.
And no one was living on Earth anymore. And it was called Back to Earth because some people from Mars were sent back to Earth to, let's say, colonize again the planet now that everything is okay and fine, and something like that. And from that, well, actually, it was not that a huge difference. It's a very
No, it's
small
really
difference.
not, because the story of Skylines Invicta is colonizing an Earth-like planet. So it wasn't a big jump, really.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed it came together, because I find it so difficult to describe what Stellaris Invicta is, and when you throw in the Skylines aspect to it, it gets even more complicated. And on top of that, like, we didn't even know which nation we're going to be playing as until I think a month after I talked to you about it, because we had that as a poll left up to our patrons. So there's 5 possible options. Like, one would have been like a gothic vampire nation, one would have been a post-apocalyptic Mad Max style one, and thank God this one won, because I think it's the best one for City Skylines. And the plot of that series is to get back to Earth too, so it's weird how it all worked out.
That's great. So when you record your episode, so you release a video and then you leave it quite open to people, and then people do a vote, and then you release the next episode after that based on the votes?
Kinda. So we released 5 videos, each detailing like a 3-minute general backstory to each nation. Like, here's their history, here's their politics, and here's what they want to do. And then once those 5 videos are out, we're like, okay, which one do you want? And then the Confederates, Republics, and Antares ended up the winner. So we've been working on just getting up all that working. And then once we start streaming these on Twitch, we'll have like polls and votes and all these things. We have this like weird political system going on where people can join the Senate and hopefully, I hope it all works out. It might be a giant disaster, but the idea is to give viewers as much input into the story as possible. But I don't know, it might be a disaster, who can say?
Yeah, I think a cool way that's going to cross over, like you're saying, you know, you'll have Twitch viewers, because the Confederacy in the story is made up of a few different like nations. They all live in the same solar system, and they all have a single Senate, which me and Skib are building. We're working on it right now. And so I think it's going to be cool, like, you know, people will vote on whether or not this particular, you know, does this nation say yes, does that nation say no? There's like 9 or 10 of them or whatever. So me and Skib will be able to provide shots like of the Senate, you know, of voting a certain way, you know, and we can send that to Templin and be like, okay, so here's your vote of this, you know, these 7 nations said yes, these 3 said no, you know, and here's a visual representation of that, you know, versus however it would have been portrayed in season 1, where it would have just been that same, shot of some artists' concept art, know.
Have
The
you?
way these two games are. Sorry.
No, you go. You go.
Oh yeah, the way these two games are going to interact with one another over the course of the series, I think is going to be really cool. Because you'll be able to provide us like footage of the city, and hopefully I can send you some, events that are happening in our Stellaris game that can be incorporated into this series. So eventually, we'll run into an alien empire, and I thought it would be neat if we created the embassy for them somewhere in Sagalo, and had maybe there's some big war that happens in our series, and you could build a memorial to it, or like a monument somewhere in the city. I don't know. I think it's going to be neat. But the nightmare scenario is that the planet that the city is on gets blown up in the campaign, in which case I don't know what we're going to do, but I will doing my best to avoid that.
You'll just have to start again. Citywok on the map.
Citywokcitywall, Skibitth got some bad news. The planet got blown up by aliens.
Yeah, natural disasters DLC. We'll send in a send in a comet or whatever those things are.
Yeah, Skib, you know that giant city you built? Well, like an asteroid hit it, and now it's completely demolished. So
End of Skylines Invicta, right there.
Yeah.
Before it even started, yeah.
Did you guys? You guys must have had to do a lot of catching up on Invicta, because Stellaris Invicta, if you're sort of like progressing the storyline, or learn about.
Well, it's a different storyline than the first season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't have anything to do with the first season, other than that it's the same game and the same concept for a series.
Yeah, but different universes altogether.
Yeah, so watching it was helpful in terms of understanding what we were becoming a part of, obviously. But
signing up for.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more just, okay, I'm thinking as I watch it, okay, how is this going to work this time around? Okay, I'm obviously seeing all these amazing concept art illustrations. Okay, it will make sense that some city skylines shots will go in there instead, And likewise, we'll be expanding on this story on a more micro level in the city. So we'll be telling our own stories in Skylines Invicta, but instead of on a galactic scale, solar system scale, we'll be doing it on a city scale,
So, Skib and Citywok, how are you guys going to collaborate on this? Like, who's going to build what? Are you guys going to build this? Like, how's the collaboration going to work?
Oh yeah, this is the fun part. We are both working on the same things this time. I mean, it's not like one is doing building the spaceship, Sagalo spaceship, or someone else is building the parliament or the senate and so on. No, we are both working on the same things, because we thought like, hey, it's cool if we both of us give our own touch to each build. This way, I can, for instance, I built the spaceship, a part of it, and then Citywok came and added the extra things on it, plus the little things, lights, and little details, and make it like look 10 times better. So these kind of things. I mean, I have an idea. Citywok comes and does some own touch on it, and it gets something super cool, or vice versa. Like he's doing something, then I give my touch, and so on.
Wow.
Something like that. I mean, this is where the time-lapse video, because we will do a cinematic video with the narration and everything, the story, and then there will be a second video, let's say, with that entire time-lapse on how we did everything. We don't know how we will do it, because it would be like, I don't know.
I know. I
over
feel like
100.
I have like
over
200
100
gigs
gigabytes.
to send you. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how we're gonna do that. We have to figure out some way to send files really fast.
It's going to be crazy. That's for sure.
That's insane.
So yeah. But it's fun. It's fun. Actually, it's fun because like in any other collaboration, when you have to load the game and you'll have to see what the other guy did. It's cool, but also this time it's an extra cool thing, let's call it. When you load the game, you want to see, for instance, I want to see what Citywok did to what I just did, what I built, what extra things he added, and so on. So it's like
also great. It's great because you're in Romania and I'm in the US, so we're at opposite times. So you're building while I'm asleep, and vice versa.
Exactly. So we actually kind of split this account with some good timing. As Citywok said, when I'm sleeping, he's doing stuff. When he's sleeping, I'm doing stuff. So it's really cool.
Is this the old Asara account?
No. That
We
one
had
is
to make
still
a
for
new
Little
one.
Friends.
Okay.
Yes, it's another new one. It's it's some new account. This time shared by Citywok.
Okay.
But it's cool too. It's easier to do like that with an account rather than to have some collections
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
You know that. Yeah,
That's amazing.
really
much
is.
better. Oh, so the time lapse will be like the time lapse video will be like, oh, I don't know.
7 hours.
I will cry. Probably I'll cry a few days and then I will release it. I don't know with that.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out too, because there's so much time lapse that went into this first episode. Like Skib was saying, it's probably 5 episodes worth of, you know, if he was making Little France, you know, it'd be 5 episodes of Little France to get. And so we were always planning on doing 1 episode of the actual Skylines Invicta and then 1, you know, behind the scenes like time lapse episode to show how we did it. But it's becoming quite a bit of time lapse footage. So
Wow.
we'll see.
And
Just
it's
have
not.
it move so fast that you can't actually see anything. Let's
Yeah.
blur of colors.
Yeah, 2,000% speed.
Yeah. That's good
And-
content right there.
There's not
Yeah,
much you
it's
can
gonna-
pre-record, is there?
It's what?
So I was just gonna say, there's not much you can pre-record because you're, you know, it's sort of a collaborative experience also with the audience. So you can't really, you know, record the entire thing for 6 months and then release it as a show.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, we wanted to be like that, to have like how many few episodes in advance, but it's it's really hard. And I can I do a little can I say something about the builds itself? Or,
I mean, it's going to be out, what, tomorrow?
well, yeah, it's gonna be out tomorrow on Citywok's YouTube channel.
Like actually tomorrow or
but-
tomorrow when we release
Tomorrow
No.
is in... No,
Tomorrow when this will be released, when
Ah,
this video
get my
podcast
hopes
will
up.
be released. So I think we already have like few thousand procedural objects on the map.
Oh, dear
That's what I was
God.
about to say. Yeah.
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
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 I don't
Yeah, for
know
a first
anything
video-
about City Skylines. It
Yes,
sounds
yes,
impressive.
yes.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
hell of a lot.
Yeah.
That's
We
amazing.
need to PO a lot of stuff there. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And Skip, because
It
I
is
mean,
what it is.
Citywok did work on Mars, so he has done quite a lot of futuristic stuff. How have you gone making the switch from Little France, which is like historical European
hard.
feel, to, you know,
Yeah.
something way, way, way in the future?
it really is hard, and I'm gonna say this out loud. Citywok already knows. As I said earlier, maybe he hates me. Well, now because I have my job that it kind of kills my spare time. But wait, it's not my spare time. It's the time when I work. But I don't have enough time to work some stuff there and work on City Skylines. But hey, so for me it's really hard, to be honest. For 2 reasons. One, yes, I build like for the past 2, 3, 4 years. I just build European stuff. And also the second thing is I don't kind of watch too many science fiction movies as well. Citywok's is trying to convince me for probably 1 month already to watch Star Wars.
Oh,
Star Wars
It's
fans,
ridiculous, man. It really
sorry,
is.
guys.
Just
haven't
watch
seen
the
Star
damn
Wars?
thing. Yeah, I'm kind of upset about this. Just put it on in the background at least. Like, just
Oh my
have it.
God.
Just
no,
get-
devote yourself to it.
I'm obviously that, but I'm just saying, if you're too busy to, like, if you're saying, oh, you know, I'm so busy with work and everything, just put it on in the background. At least,
No.
at least be
Star
able
Wars
to.
is not an airplane movie. That's something you gotta dedicate yourself to, man. Make it an event.
Obviously, that's what it should be. Of course. I'm just saying, worst case scenario. I mean, worst case scenario is you've never seen it. Second worst case scenario is at least, you know, you have some idea of the plot and you've seen bits and pieces of it because it was on in the background. I don't know.
Do I have to start with the very first video or movie, which was like 30 years ago? I don't know.
I don't
Those
know.
are great. What's wrong with that?
I know. I was asking, should I start with those?
See,
I mean,
I mean, this is a whole other conversation that I'm not sure if I'm qualified to get into it. There's a lot of theories out there on what order you should watch these in, so I'm not gonna put out any opinions.
Yeah, I don't know because it's yeah, because I mean I started with the very old school ones and then the new ones and then now the new ones. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how you're meant to watch them. That's a very good question. I think there's very big conversations about what order do you watch the Star Wars in.
I think they're the way that they're numbered is a good way to watch them.
Yeah,
I think that the 2000s ones might be a good one to start with, just to see the story
think you
through.
Can skip the first 3. I think those are optional.
Oh.
Okay, it's coming up there.
Oh.
Welcome to Star Wars Slickers, the Star Wars movie podcast.
Yes.
I'm actually a bit nervous for you, Skip, as well, because I think when you watch like a cult movie after, you know, when you miss the boat, you know, I feel like you need to grow up with this sort of stuff. You can't really jump on it when you're an adult. You know?
I don't know. Okay, so when I was a child, I saw like 1, 2, probably even 3 of Star Wars movies, the old ones. I watched them with my father. I enjoyed them, at least back in the days. Was something different. Well, come on, it was long time ago. But they didn't catch me that bad much, you know. And when the new ones, the 2000 ones, were released, I wasn't a fan. I mean, I am not a big fan of scientific movies, and I didn't watch them. And I knew people was like crazy about these kind of movies, and I was like, hey, maybe I will, maybe I will not. I don't watch Marvel movies as well, so probably now everyone is like shutting down their computers, like, hey, far beep, Skibitth, go home, leave us. Sorry guys, I can't watch Marvel movies as well, and that's because they are too unrealistic, and not because there is a guy with the power. I watched Captain America. I don't know which one. I think it's the second part of Captain America, and there was one guy having an iron fist, arm actually, like
Iron Fist arm.
Here. Yes, I don't know.
He's the leader of the Avengers.
And he was just I mean, if you shot him in the head, he was dead. But he has this iron arm, and everyone was having machine guns and trying to kill him, and he was like doing this, and I was like, come on, you can't do that, it's impossible and it's stupid. And I was literally shut. I closed the video, and I was like, I can't watch this. This is really some bull beep, you know. So no, I can't watch these kind of things.
I would love to hear you describe all the Marvel movies from memory, though. That was amazing.
No,
Yeah,
I
honestly,
watched
I would
Thor.
love to.
I honestly watched Thor. It was okay. It was fine, even though some scenes of there was like too much. But I could watch those. But these kind of things, you know, even if you are a child and having a machine gun, at a point you will shot that person by mistake, because you know machine guns. It's not a gun, a simple gun. It's a machine gun. So bullets are going everywhere. It's like raining with bullets. Come on.
I'm really excited for Skib's retelling of Star Wars once he watches that this week.
Yeah, we are going
No,
to do this.
so if Star Wars is the same, I don't want to watch it. Trust me.
Just watch the movies. Just you gotta watch them.
They are good.
Make them realistic from every point of view. So
Realistic. It's sci-fi. It's not.
yes,
It's not,
I don't care about the fact that you can make a chair flying. I care about this is not a chair, it's a phone. But it's like, hey man, make something realistic regarding, you know, like the scene I just described earlier, or any other scenes. Okay, I was watching horror movies, which are also stupid as hell. But I was watching horror movies. I still enjoy those because, you know, it keeps you super. It gives that mystery, and also you are like watching them, not scared, but how should I say this?
no, you're on the
super
edge of your
tense.
seat or whatever. Yeah.
Yes,
it's
yes,
tension.
yes. But and I was watching, you know, those kind of movies when a girl is running into a forest, someone is trying to kill her, or it's a guy, doesn't matter, and she's falling so many times.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, why would you?
Yeah.
Why is she falling so often? And then I actually watched some real videos with people being scared with pranks, you know, all kind of pranks. and they actually are falling as well. And I was like, oh wait a second. And I read some stuff about these kind of things, and it's actually because you are so damn scared, like, you know, your life is in danger. Actually, your feet are cut off, you know, like this from the system, like, you are falling, like it's for good, it's for real. And I was like, okay, makes sense now. But again, I don't want to turn this podcast from something it should have been like talking about Skylines Invicta, Stellaris Invicta, and so on.
Listen,
into
this is the second City Slickers podcast where you're getting called out for not watching Star Wars. Just end it, you know?
I promise I will give it a try when I will have some time.
We would appreciate that.
With the 2000 movies, the one from 2000. So let's see, but now I don't have time for that. I really don't have time. And coming back to the question $2 asked me.
What was the question? I'm lost.
Yes.
The question is why haven't you seen Star Wars? God.
No. The question is how am I doing this switch from Little France to...
Oh my.
Yes, this
Well,
is
that's
how
a
I
hell of an
answer
answer.
stuff.
Yeah, this
Yes,
is
you
welcome
know?
to the podcast.
Yes, so that's why it's really, really, really hard, because I don't have that view on scientific stuff. I'm watching a lot of wallpapers, artworks, and whatever. I also, thanks to Templin for sharing some of his pics with futuristic artworks and so on, because I'm trying to get inspiration. So for me, it's harder, I'm sure it's super harder than for Citywokc, because I see him doing like stuff pretty easy. For me, I need inspiration and I need to see a lot of things. I can replicate stuff if I have a per se thing. So I have a picture, I can replicate it. But if I don't have a picture, it's super hard.
For me, it's not easy. It's just like
it's much more easier.
It's trial and error. Like I'll just like slap something together, and I'm like, that doesn't look very good. Okay, what if I did this and I delete it and I try like 6 different times, and then we end up at the final thing. But
it's the same. I mean, I did a spaceship like 4 or 5 times, and maybe the 5th time was the final one. And when I said I did it, I mean, at a point I built a spaceship, like half of it, and I was like, no, delete everything and start from scratch. And then I started with the a half of it, if you do remember, with the half of the species, and I had like 3 of them, and then I asked you, hey man, give me something, give me a cookie here, tell me which one is the best of these and so on, so I can work from that as well, because it's good to have like an opinion from someone else. And it's hard, it's trial and error, yeah, that's for sure. For instance, the Senate, the parliament or whatever it's called, I can't even remember how many times I did it. I do remember that I spent almost like 8-9 hours working on it, and I ended up having nothing. I actually deleted everything. I didn't even want to show Citywokc some screenshots because I was that pissed off, and I was like, no, I can't do this. And it was like so annoying. And I said to Citywokc, hey man, it's really hard. I was looking for inspiration, didn't find anything. Citywokc said, hey, do something like an amphitheater. And I was like, oh, come on. Okay, I will start with that, and nothing.
I sent him a screenshot from Star Wars. Was what I did.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
so yeah, but it was like those pictures were for me was like something super old style, you know, that it was not futuristic. And I was said, man, we have to make this futuristic then. We need something futuristic. And I went to sleep, and the very next morning when I woke up, Citywokc was already sending me some screenshots with his thing. He just put some stuff on in between some rocks, and I was like, come on, really? He did it so fast. For me, it was fast. Probably it was some trial and errors for him as well. But for me, it was like, come on. I did it so many times, and I was like not happy with it.
I've heard the stuff you've been making is really amazing. So
yes, it is. I mean, plus probably I'm sure Mars is helping. I mean, in Mars he's doing futuristic stuff as well, trial and errors. But you know, after a point, it's like, no, it's ordinary. It's like normal thing to do for him. Probably, I don't know. I'm speaking from what I see from here, but he now can say otherwise. Hey, you can tell your opinion because it's your.
Well, yeah, Mars. I've kind of like slumped into I got into a little rut. I feel like where there's a particular style of what Mars is, and it's one particular way of doing a sci-fi thing, and there's so many other ways you could do sci-fi stuff. And so this is, I don't know, it's been fun for me because there's a lot of stuff that I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do, but obviously I can't do that on Mars. Especially because the way that we've been doing it is, you'll see in the episode that comes out tomorrow, we split the save. So there's the present day save, and then there's the save like right when they first land in this new planet. So there's like there's the save when everything is really nice and together, and it's like 400 years in the future, and then there's one where they're like really trying to survive and they've just landed there. And so even having that contrasting style is really fun.
Yeah, it's like to having two series.
It sounds amazing. Like, I can't wait. You guys say it tomorrow, but it's really unfair because I have to wait a whole month until I get to say it.
Well, it's not like, it's like 2 weeks probably.
2 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Almost
3 weeks. Yeah.
4 months tops.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's make it clear. 4 months from now.
But I guess that's why
Easter.
it's so collaborative, I guess, Skip, so that you guys can actually just share the save, and you can start working on something, Citywok can finish another thing, and that sounds like you guys got a good thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fun. That's no doubt about it. As soon as I can actually ease my daily work, I mean, my job, it's my job. I have to do it. It's mandatory. But before I had like few really cool days this summer, and I'm waiting for it to get like in a normal phase now, so I can actually work and also work on City Skylines during the day, because I really feel I have more inspiration during the day. I can focus more, or even I can do it in the evening times. But if I'm working 9 hours, then in the evening I'm like super exhausted. Anyways, I find it super fun, and I'm so happy being in this collaboration with these two guys. It's really awesome, and I'm super happy for actually meeting, not in person, but meeting the Templin Mark here. It's really fun to chat with him, and we all change ideas, but mostly Citywok and Mark. I'm just reading there. I mean, I'm in the shadows mostly. For me, this particular area with science fiction stuff and so on, it's still, I'm still like, I feel I'm running to catch it, but it's so far away from me. So I'm just trying to be more quiet. Guys, if you don't see me talking that much on Discord, it's because I still am a tiny bit afraid of saying stuff about it until I feel, if I feel it's natural for me to talk about it. Like, ask me anything about Little Friends, I will talk for days. But for now, for me, it's really super hard. Really.
You did a great job with the ship, though. It really turned out well. And that
with the spaceship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, it took me like more than 1 day to do it, which is not that much, because if you ask me now, I can do that in half an hour. But with those trial and errors, almost 1 day. With the Parliament/Senate, not that much. I barely did some stuff there. But and also with the past Sagala, when they landed on this planet, I just did one thing, I think, for now, but I have to catch up there and do some stuff and add my little touch. I have to. Today, I don't know what I'm going to do. Fingers crossed. I have to just load one of the saves and do something there.
Templin, how long does it take you to usually record an episode or to release an episode?
Oh god, that's hard to say. I'm lucky enough to not have to do the narration myself, because I can barely string a sentence together most times. So Steven, my buddy, narrates all these videos, and he does it with a great British accent, and it all sounds professional, and he pronounces things correctly, unlike me. But so for context, the most of our episodes are maybe about 10 minutes long, and I can usually write the script for those in 10 or not 10 minutes, about maybe a couple hours, edit it in another few hours, and then have it all ready to go inside of a day, mostly. The first episode of Skylines, Stellaris Invicta Season 2, which hopefully came out last week, I think is 35 minutes long, and that took a full day to write. I haven't edited it yet, so hopefully that didn't take too long. But yeah, no, every episode is different, and depending on the events of the game, it's gonna be. I can't predict it. It's who knows.
I'm so jealous of you, man. It takes so long to make a City Skylines episode. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great for me because like for your series, I don't have to do anything. All I do is I write. The Antares Parliament has both the upper house, which is the Senate, and the lower house, which is the Chamber of Representatives, and that's all I got to do. And you guys have to build it, so.
Well, you've been giving quite a lot of input and answering questions and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that has been coming up that I feel like we have to be like, hey, wait. And then we ask you, like, is this or is this that, you know? And we have a little discussion about it, and it informs how we're going to build the thing. But, yeah,
sure.
It takes a while.
I'm just super amazed seeing the stuff you guys are doing, because I didn't even realize you were planning on showing the actual ship landing. I was just like, okay, so in like 200 years before the series takes place, the ship landed and they went through some hard times, and then you guys went out and built all that. I couldn't believe it. And Skib, you're gonna hate me. I thought, like, I wasn't sure if you had actually built that ship from scratch or what you did, but like I thought you just bought that model and put it in. I was like, oh, that looks great. They picked a good one to buy. But then every now and then you'd mention that you were putting it together, and I was like, wait, did he make that from scratch? No, this is City Skylines. You can't do that sort of thing in City Skylines. That wouldn't make any sense. So to hear that you made that's very inspiring.
No, it's pretty cool. It's made out of a bunch of like sort of sci-fi, some of them not even sci-fi buildings, just like all like rotated and scaled and squished. And
it's completely wild to me.
That's wild. That is crazy.
I'm glad I don't have to do anything. It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. It is, and thanks for the words, but it was so hard for me as well to do that, as I said earlier. But also Citywok, man, those touches, those little details that made the ship being alive, that's actually really, really cool. Really, really cool. Those make the ship, the spaceship look
I
like
need your
it
help
is.
though, Skib, because something we can talk about it later maybe, but there's some issue with procedural objects in that ship, and I had to go to an older save and try and bring some stuff back, but there's some glitchy stuff going on.
How did you make it land?
And I have to say something for those who, of course, play City Skylines, because they will understand, sadly, the other persons who are not watching City Skylines videos. They don't know what I'm talking about. But there is Citywok, I think he spent like one day probably, or maybe more, trying to figure out a super annoying flickering in...
Oh yeah, that was like 15 hours. Oh my god.
Okay, yes. So there is a flickering, like some crazy shadows when you do a cinematic, or even not doing any cinematics, you see the shadows like flickering like crazy.
It was in the
super
sky
annoying.
too. It was
Oh my
like
God.
everywhere.
Yes.
I hate
So
those
he
flicking
spent like
shadows.
half a day finding
I
the issue.
unsubscribed from every single graphics mod, and it didn't fix itself. I unsubscribed from almost every single mod that we had subscribed. Okay, now it's gone. I'm gonna add back in one mod, reload the game, add back in another mod, reload the game. Okay, maybe I can do this a little faster. I'll do 5 at a time, you know. And I just had to reload the game. I have it written down because I was trying to keep track of what I did and what worked and what didn't work. I reloaded the game like 30 times with different combinations of mods enabled, try and track down what it was, and it ended up being it was procedural objects. One of the procedural objects in our map had some vertices that were like sunken down like 10 miles underneath the ground, and I deleted that one procedural object in it, and the flicker was gone.
Oh,
So
God.
it wasn't even a mod or anything. It was just like the one screwed up little bit of, you know, whatever
Say
it
it.
was.
No, say it, man. Say it. I know you want to say it.
What?
Who
fucking
who did that?
I mean, yeah, it was Skib's procedural object, but you know, that could have happened to anyone.
Oh
Yeah,
my
my
God.
bad.
That's
My bad.
amazing.
I'm surprised you weren't seeing the flickers. the same way.
No,
I
I
was.
seen it, but I have it in Little France as well. Probably I didn't see the flickers and those things that happened to you, because I think they happened later. Because you also saying that the cube map was disappearing, so it was a clear sky, nothing else.
Oh,
in
that
the
was
sky.
a whole separate issue. Was that the cube map?
well-
we had multiple issues that I had to work through.
So in Little France, I have the same thing. Like the shadowings are going crazy. Probably I have to find that procedural object. I don't know if I'm able to do so. I can't just load and reload the game. I will cry for a few days.
No, what you should do is put clipping networks over the whole map so you can see underneath the terrain and see which one is a mile underground.
Jeez. That'd be hectic.
Not a bad idea, man. That's a good idea, actually. I can do that. Yes, and I think I did some stuff like that with the vertices. Well, the thing is, the procedural object has an option to move the vertices to the ground level. The problem is that they are not on the ground level. They are beyond the ground level, actually. Probably the creator, Simon, that doesn't know about those. But anyways, I will never use that again.
Mark, I'm sorry. I feel like we're talking about something you have absolutely no idea. It's
Oh no,
gibberish
I'm
to
an
you.
expert. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, sorry, man. Sorry, Mark. Sorry about
No,
that.
no, it's cool. I got every word, man. Procedural objects. What are you gonna do?
You have to
Womp
use procedural
womp.
objects and Stellaris Invicta as well.
Guys, it sounds so
Oh.
amazing. And how many episodes are you planning on releasing? Like, do you know how
Oh,
long the
I
series
have-
is going to go for?
No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. In Stellaris, we'll just keep going until there's just kind of a natural conclusion. I'm not sure what that's going to be. We're going to kind of let the story play itself out.
Amazing.
It is kind of nice that you have a story in your game to build off of, because in City Skylines, obviously, there's no story. So I think we're going to be a little bit more out of the box or whatever, pulling at straws to try and come.
You get a procedural story.
That's
Make
right.
it out.
Yes, Mr. PO.
I'm sorry for talking that much about procedural objects.
We're used
I will
to
try to cut off as much as possible.
How
from
$2? How you been
video.
enjoying procedural objects in Springwood,
Springfield.
Springfield?
Baby. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm using it so
Yeah.
much. I just built the tire fire. I just had I had to PO a whole bunch of things and splice them together.
that's
and
fun.
It's great. I love it.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
quickly say that series is the best. I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and seeing all the references you've put in, it's brilliant stuff.
Oh man, it's so much fun, and the people who started building me these like really, really great things as well. Like the next episode that's coming out actually this weekend, not the weekend for people listening, but someone built the balloon of Skinner, and that's like flying around the skies now. It's
I
just
saw
so
this on
amazing.
Twitter. This thing was amazing.
Yeah, Skinner's butt. It's just like so good. There's like just so many good references. Because I mean, there's only so much I can really build. Like I have to rely on a lot of people to, help and pitch in and stuff. So it's been really nice seeing people actually get involved. But it was also hard when I released it because I didn't know if anybody was going to be, because when I spoke to people about it, Skib and Citywok are like good example. I told Citywok and he's like, dude, that is the best idea. I love The Simpsons. And then I told Skibitth and he's like, I don't even know what The Simpsons is. So I was like, oh shit.
No, I know,
Oh
but
my
I
God.
never watched Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and then I'm here like pouring my heart and soul into this series that like, maybe only like 3 people are going to, I just assumed that people watch The Simpsons. But turns out a lot of people
Yeah,
do,
people
so
watch The Simpsons. Yeah, everyone
do.
watches The
I'm
Simpsons.
sure
except
they
for
are.
Skib, who doesn't. I don't know what you watch, Skib. Some weird horror movies. That's all I've heard so far.
No, but yeah,
women tripping in the woods.
yes. No, but it doesn't matter what I watch. It's okay. It's fine. Lately I don't have time to. I barely have time to watch anything like that. So
Well,
I
I'm
watch
looking
Modern
forward to,
Family.
Modern. Oh yeah, for Springfield though, I'm looking forward to the Springfield Gorge with the ambulances at the bottom.
Oh, great
and,
idea.
The Stonecutters headquarters. That's gonna be some good stuff.
Yes, I've asked someone to
the
build that.
Stonecutters.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think I might be able to piece that together using procedural objects. But yeah, stonecutters and like a giant rock out the back or something like that. Oh, it's gonna be great. I just built the pillow factory as well, and I just like had like the detonation next to it and stuff because like I don't know if you remember that episode, but it's just so good. And then I've just been like obsessing over little like just the little details. You know, you like watch an episode, you're like, I think I saw a little building over there. I'm gonna put that over there. It's so fun. I'm gonna get Citywokk to come build.
How far away was I forget the name of the town, but when they move briefly and he's employed by Scorpio?
Yeah.
Shelbyville, right?
Nah, that's the other.
That's a rival town.
God, it had some name. Oh, it was like Cypress Creek or something.
Yeah. And they lived on all those project homes.
It's probably too far away from Springfield to make it into your video, but I'd love to see Scorpio's supervillain lair.
No, I think I'll be able to do that. Okay, I think I've given myself enough space to do that. I don't think I'll be able to do Shelbyville. Like I might be able to do the borders of it, but I don't know. Well,
Shelbyville got crushed by Mr. Burns' giant sun blocker, so you're good.
That's true. It's so good, man. I'm obsessed with it. I've been building on it all day today, like to be honest. So,
Skib, you gotta watch The Simpsons and then Star Wars, and then you can get back to your women falling in the woods.
Yes. No, for a second I was thinking actually. So this is how Mark is feeling when we are talking about procedural objects and stuff like that. Like I feel now when you guys talk about Simpsons and whatever. So you're like, what are they even talking about there? Okay, so
I really
apologize, Mark. I have to apologize.
No, that's cool.
I really want to get Citywokk in to do a build.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I gotta watch. Because Simpsons is something I haven't really watched in a few years. I'd love to go back and rewatch some episodes and try and figure out a fun thing to build. Give you some suggestions. The monorail is one that really stands out, but I'm sure you have plenty of plans for the monorail.
Yeah,
monorail.
Yeah, that's coming.
Monorail.
That's around the corner.
Monorail.
Hey guys, I suppose I had enough, but this has been such a nice podcast. It's been so good having two people on today. It's been awesome, and finding out more about this project you guys are working on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, even though I know nothing about City Skylines beyond.
Actually, this podcast is not only about City Skylines community. We started like that, you know, inviting some people. There is still a lot of people to invite from this community, but yeah, it's not like only for City Skylines. So was really good having you both, even though for you guys it's super late in the night. Thanks for doing this for us.
It's fine. Thanks for having me back again on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, you greedy bastard.
Man,
on twice.
I know.
It's the third time.
Using up everyone's airtime. Yeah, it is actually the third time because we redid the first one.
Of course. You'll probably make us do this one a second time.
But I wanna say something else before we end this. I want everyone, probably most of you guys are watching City Skylines. You know us already, but you don't know Templin. Probably you don't know Templin. Well, you guys, I really highly advise you to go watch some of his videos. You'll fall in love with his stories, and definitely watch Stellaris Invicta as well, because it's the let's see, the connection between our series and his series. Not the connection, you know, it's connected. I meant.
We have done a few episodes on fictional cities, so there is a bit of a crossover there. I think we've done Gotham City and Karnaca from the Dishonored games, and we did an episode on the Springfield Box Factory, so we hit all the grades.
What? Amazing.
Yeah, so even more reasons to go and check out his channel. I will have to say goodbye from my side. Guys, thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys, thank you so much for joining us. It was really cool, and it was a pleasure having you. Tomorrow, probably, fingers crossed, the Skylines Invicta will be released. Stellaris Invicta was already released. So
hopefully.
Yeah,
I hope
hopefully.
it was.
Fingers crossed, because otherwise
yeah.
this podcast will be like crazy. No one will understand anything. But hey, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I will
Thanks for having
watch
me.
Star Wars. I'll watch Star Wars.
Please.
At
I
a
don't
point.
want to. I don't want to hear about Star Wars again from in another City Slickers episode. This is 2 times is enough.
Okay, I promise.
No. Sounds like it's not gonna happen.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks a lot. See you and chat with you guys. Bye bye from here.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.